Hey, friends. Welcome to Discovering the Lutheran Faith, Session 3, The Apostles' Creed, Part 1. In this session, we're going to be answering the question, what is the Apostles' Creed? So I want to invite you to turn to page 26 in your workbooks as we look at this question, what is the Apostles' Creed? Every Sunday, we gather together for worship. And in our time of worship, we have an opportunity to confess not only before God, but also one another, what is it that we really believe about this God that we worship, that we praise, that we give thanks for, that has done so much in our lives. And the creeds are wonderful statements of that very God who we worship and adore. Now, the Apostles' Creed, much like the Nicene Creed, developed early in the church. See, early in the life of the church, it founded the need to establish creeds or statements of faith so that the church had a clear and concise summary of the doctrine of God. See, as the church grew and as more people became Christian and as curiosity started to develop, people had questions, especially not only of God, but of Jesus. And they would question, well, how can Jesus be both God and man, divine and human, fully God, fully man? And they had to wrestle with these concepts, especially related to the Trinity. And so the church would have ongoing discussions about who is God, and they came together and developed what they believed were clear and concise summaries of the doctrine of God. And these clear and concise summaries then would be used for people to confess their faith. And so, for example, in the early church, before Easter, when new people wanted to be baptized into the Christian faith, when they were asked, what do you believe about God? They would often recite the Apostles' Creed or some form of it as it developed over time. And what a creed does, it has three functions. These creeds are statements of what we, first of all, believe about God. So I believe in God the Father, I believe in God the Son, I believe in God the Holy Spirit. And here's what I believe about each of those things. They are also what we teach. And so the creed is a teaching tool. On Sundays, you'll hear me talk about the catechism, and during the catechism time, we'll look at the creed, and we'll look at the statements within the creed and what they teach us about God. And then also, it is a time to confess. And so together with one voice, we all speak the creed together about this is who our God, and this is what we believe. Within the Lutheran Church, there are three creeds that are recognized. The Apostles' Creed, which we probably use the majority of time in our church. The Nicene Creed, which gets a lot of playtime, airtime, if you will, within our church. And we say the Apostles' Creed or Nicene Creed almost weekly. And then every once in a while, we'll pull out what's known as the Athanasian Creed, which is a very long statement about what we believe, teach, and confess about God. These are the three recognized creeds that are proved by the church and held widely throughout all of Christendom. Now, with each creed, we state these words, I believe. Sometimes we'll use the words we believe, but this is a statement of what I believe about God. And when I say I believe, I'm confessing that I trust God and His promises, and I accept as true all that He teaches in the Holy Scriptures. I believe this. So when you believe something, it means you put your faith, your confidence, and your trust in it. Now, while it was not written by one of the 12 apostles, the Apostles' Creed does reflect the central teachings of the apostles that we find in the Old and New Testament. So you can take every line of the creed and you can find corresponding Bible passages that attest to that truth within the creeds. And it's a wonderful kind of Bible study that you can do, just unpacking each line of the creed and finding out where it comes from in the Bible. And so this kind of beautiful moment that we have here, it reflects that teaching of the apostles. In fact, Paul tells us that our faith is built, first of all, on Jesus Christ, who is the cornerstone, right, of the foundation. And then it's built up on the teachings of the apostles and prophets. And the creed is like the tip of the house, if you will. It's the summary of all that's being taught by God. Okay, friends, that is the Apostles' Creed. Come back to next session as we'll unpack Luther's explanation of